Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bright Founders Talk at Temi. Temi is an international software development company that designs, builds, and delivers software for sustainable businesses and promising startups. My name is Matthew, and I'm joined today by Mr. Hakan Yurdakul, who is the CEO and Head of Strategy at Bolt Insight. How are you doing today, Hakan?
Very good. Thank you, Matt. Thanks for inviting me to this recording.
And thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule to be with us today. We do appreciate it. So Hakan, before we start, would you mind telling our viewers a little bit about who you are and what you are currently involved with?
Yes, I'm Matt. I'm the CEO of Bolt Insight. It's an agile market research company. We do hybrid research in quantitative and qualitative. We use our own software to run surveys or interviews with consumers so that businesses can understand their markets and customers better, so that they make more informed decisions in their innovation and delivery processes.
It sounds a little complex to me. I hope our guys understand. We'll dive a little bit into that as we're going on. So something interesting, you and I had a little chat before we began this session. You've had quite an interesting journey. You mentioned it to me about where you started and where you've ended up. Can you talk our listeners through that? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I'm originally a marketeer. I started my career in one of the biggest global FMCG companies. I worked across different geographies, different categories. I'm originally from Turkey. I used to work from that office responsible from Africa, Middle East, and Russia region. Worked in foods category, personal care categories, and then moved to UK like 10 years ago, led the hairstyling category, snacking categories as well. Born and bred within, marketing, FMCG, product development and innovation roles. And then kind of Bolt Insight emerged from my own needs while doing my marketing responsibilities. It was very difficult and timely to, it took a lot of time to get real insights from consumers and markets and about our competitors, and a lot of effort as well. And often a lot of the decisions are made without actual data, but more, based on gut feel or the decision makers' choices. We wanted to change that. We wanted to change how businesses make more informed decisions. And there's the idea came about Bolt Insight, a way to, connect businesses better with their consumers so that they almost do make decisions as if their customers are sitting next to them. I mean, everything is online these days. Everything happens through social media networks. And we wanted to change how research is done as well.
Okay, so disrupting the industry there a little bit, which is pretty cool. So tell me, Bolt, you said it was born out of necessity, right? What was this like for you, starting, getting processes in place, starting to realize the solution?
As a professional that worked across, different big brands and big companies. Moving on to the entrepreneurial side was also quite interesting. I'm trying to bring in a lot of the good sides of being part of a corporate into the entrepreneurial world as well, like all the right processes, guidelines. But at the same time, we're trying to make sure we get the good stuff from the startup world as well, being agile, quick decision making, faster to market. And hence, at Bolt Insight, what we've done was we used the best side of, the technology. Like, for example, we are pioneers in using AI in market research world. But at the same time, we're not forgetting about the human side of things as well. Often the problem with a lot of the startups in this space is of course, there are some exceptions, but, mostly there is a, good technical software person coming up with an idea, but without much experience in the real life scenario, on the other side of the table, experiencing what the client does and how they need and use the technology. So what we're trying to do here at Bolt is not only we are bringing some cutting edge technology onto the table, but also our experience and expertise as well, because we've been on the other side of the table. We were using a lot of the traditional, conventional methodologies. And what we know best is what our clients need in terms of, getting the insights and data in a timely way, but without, compromising on quality as well. So we bring on that human expertise along with the tech and innovative solutions. And I guess that's the secret sauce here. That's why our clients really love to work with us, because we can come up with really quick solutions and understand what the challenges they are facing.
And tell us about that a little bit. Tell us about your clients. Was there generally a positive uptake of the product when you spoke to people? Were they positive? Did they say, "Oh, great idea, I'd love to get involved"? How did that go for you?
First, it took a bit of explanation and time to get new clients on board, because I think, due to the nature of our business, we're a B2B business, and we work with a lot of these, blue chip companies. The problem is often they are very much risk averse, and they use, products and solutions and processes that have been tried and tested for years. And often people also manage their own careers as well, and they're not very much encouraged to take risks.
Yes.
And hence it takes time for them to look for better solutions or different ways of doing the same thing. And when they come across a new solution, they also hesitate to try it because they want to fail in trying new things. That's why it takes a lot of motivation, encouragement, and also you need to use your own personal credibility in a way. I guess our advantage was, as I said, with most of the other founders we have in the team, we have been there as well on their shoes. We come from, big corporate companies, and we know how it feels to try these new solutions. And that's why I think networking, that personal credibility helps a lot in convincing new clients to try new solutions.
Tell us a little bit. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. Talk to us about acquiring or bringing people on, the right kind of people. Tell us a bit about your team and some of the processes you might have gone through to get the right people on board with a similar mindset, and getting those cogs turning, getting that machine operating.
Being a consumer marketeer, I had doubts as well in terms of, how do we really get the cogs turning in B2B world as well. But I see, to be honest, there are a lot of shared principles between the two. I think when someone says B2B marketing, a lot of people immediately thinks about, outbound, inbound, and, email reach outs and doing a bit of, white papers and case studies to collect some leads, and that's it. It's actually, what I always found useful and advise to others that are around me is that, you need to take a similar approach like, consumer B2C marketing, which is about consumer first. What is the problem that you're solving, understand them, be in their shoes, and almost experience the challenges that your clients are facing, and then try to come up with a solution that really solves a problem. One of the good mentors I've had used to say, don't be a vitamin, be an antibiotic, solve a problem, especially if you want to be successful in this B2B world, because you are working against big giants out there with even bigger budgets. If you really want to have that quick, hockey stick kind of growth, you really need to solve a problem. That's why I think I like the analogy. Like, of course, we need vitamins and, that kind of almost like solutions that helps you to get better. But at the same time, if you want faster growth and faster adoption, you need to be a problem solver. You need to really understand the pain that your clients are facing and have very simple solutions. And that's what we are, to be honest, focusing and of course, time to market is also extremely important. It's not always being the first to market, but also how do you simplify the problem, make it so easy to understand, so easy to explain as well, and then, give that MVP a chance with clients, and then build on top of it instead of waiting weeks and months and years to build that, ultimate product. Almost make it a co-creation environment as well. Find that biggest problem that they have, create the simplest version of the solution, and then build with your clients together to get to that best product.
That's terrific. How many people are working at Bolt at the moment? How many employees are there, more or less?
Yeah, we're almost 40 people at the moment. We have two different, two offices, one in UK, one in Turkey. A lot of the front-facing roles, like, sales, client-facing roles are in UK. And then more of the development, research, analysis is done in Turkey.
I like that. And tell me about the people. What do you look for when you're working with somebody, colleague, co-worker? What sort of things are important for you to bring people into this world of yours?
It's a very good question, Matt. Coming from the corporate world, what I realized when I moved into, a startup and entrepreneurial world is that in corporate, you obviously, live with a lot of those filters that corporate bubble creates around you. Obviously, if you work for a big company, big name, that already receives some of the best, applications, best talent out there. And then you get to select based on a few, details and nuances and, also the soft skills potentially. Whereas when you're on the entrepreneurial world, you actually have access to a much wider talent. What you need to do is you need to also convince those people to work with you, because they probably didn't know about your company before, right? So that chemistry is extremely important. And what I look for, the first thing that I look for is the curiosity and the owner's mindset, to be honest. Is that person curious passionate about what we're doing and what we're trying to change in this world? And can they have that drive to become almost like one of the founders? Technically, we also offer that as well, like by, share options and everything. But in reality, for me, what's really important is that owner's mindset. Is that person coming there to do one task that they're assigned to? Or are they genuinely thinking about the broader scope of what we're trying to change in our space, in this world. I think that to me is the most important thing, especially for the first circle of people that, creates new products, new solutions, because ideas can come from anywhere. I've learned that throughout all my career, like new product ideas never only came from and should not only come from marketing or salespeople. R&D, even finance, everybody should think about it. And you need to have an open culture where everybody shares their thoughts and ideas. And I think it's even more important in the startup world because, first of all, you're a smaller team and you need to achieve much bigger things with smaller teams. And that means everybody needs to be the hero, So you need to have that open culture where everybody almost feels like an owner of the business.
You've mentioned, the entrepreneurial role and the corporate role a few times. Which one do you prefer?
I would I have to say I've loved my time in the corporate world because you have much bigger solutions and assets and ammunition to, go out and achieve things. But your margin of impact is way smaller, I would say, personally. That's why I love and I prefer now the entrepreneurial world because, I was always almost like an entrepreneur even within the corporate world. But what I see here is every single thing you do has a lot of impact into the success of your team, the success of your company. Whereas, regardless of what sort of position you hold in corporate, it's a huge organism. It's a huge machine. You're still a smaller cog within that. And in the startup world, and I say this not only the founders or the CEOs, as I said, to every single member within that team, even the smallest idea can sometimes become a life or death, choice for the startup you're working on. That's why your impact is much larger here. And that brings a lot of excitement to what you do. It's almost like that roller coaster journey. It's full of adrenaline and excitement. That's why at the moment I like it a lot. Is it sustainable for a lifetime? I don't know. But being in the entrepreneurial world, much shorter than the corporate world, at the moment I like it a lot.
That's cool. Now, the last thing I wanted to ask you about, thank you for that, is you are a family man. How's it been for you trying to maintain a work-life balance? Is there one? Do you have one? How do you get about managing that time and those responsibilities?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I'm actually connecting from my daughter's room at the moment, so I'm sure you're seeing the flamingos on the background. You need to be agile. You need to be flexible. It's difficult. It's so easy not to get the work-life balance right. But what I try to do is, obviously, there's not a single formula, right? Like you can't do a 9-to-5 type of job, especially in entrepreneurial world. Your mind is constantly at work. It's almost every time I put my head to the pillow, I start to think about what's going to happen tomorrow. Should I plan some of the things? Should I think about them? It is a lot of, constant thinking about work. So you need to have your moments of, first of all, mindfulness and relaxation, because your mind needs that, downtime as well. But at the same time, I almost try to, instead of, trying to fix 9-to-5, I try to fix at least 2-3 hours in the evenings with my family, so that, and I'm trying to be completely off the work so that I can concentrate on them, give them what I have to give, as a parent and a family member, and then, and then I can get back to work again. That's the reality. Sometimes you need to work late hours, but as long as you almost like separate that 2-3 hours in the evening to your family, I think it is still possible to have a good balance.
Absolutely. So you're talking more about the, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the quality of the time, not the amount of the time, to be 100%
Absolutely.
invested for 2 hours rather than 50%. Mr. Hakan, I just wanted to say thanks for your time today. I'm going to let you go. I know you got a lot of things to do. But before I go, is there anything you would like to say to our viewers? Tell them about the company or yourself, where they can get a hold of you or find out any more information?
If you want to get to product market fit faster for all those, companies, big or small, I suggest, taking market and consumer research more seriously and use these agile solutions like Bolt Insight, especially our new product, Bolt Chat AI. It's a AI automated qualitative consumer research tool. It takes only 24 hours to brief the tool, and then AI does all the magic, finds the people, interviews them, and then comes up with the report at the end for you to hopefully answering your original questions. So it's just 24 hours. So it's so easy to get real consumer feedback now. So take the advantage of that. Gone those days, where big, huge agencies trying to, answer your questions in months, and then with huge budgets. You can get a lot using the technology now and understand your consumers, clients' problems better, and then build better products out of that.
That's terrific. That's absolutely terrific. Again, thank you very much for your time today. Enjoy your time with your family, and we will be keeping our eye on you in the future.
Thank you, Matt. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and best wishes. Thank you.
Thanks, my friend.